Hi, everybody. We've done a lot of talking about dogs today. We've shared a lot of pictures of dogs. We've talked about what a wonderful pet they make. I've seen some of your dogs, and we've seen pictures of our staff and friends with their puppies and their dogs. Well, I even have seen a lot of Facebook pictures of people and their dogs on National Dog Day. So I got to thinking, what better time to make a dog themed recipe? Well, we are going to make puppy chow. But I have to remind you, this puppy chow is what my dog Brownie eats. And this is not what we're going to make. We're going to let Brownie have this, and we're going to make a puppy chow for us, for humans. And our puppy chow has these ingredients. We start with a rice-based cereal, or you could use a corn-based. Generally, one of your Chex is going to be your best bet. You want a fairly large piece of cereal. Any kind of chocolate morsels, or probably even butterscotch if you prefer that. Some morsels that you might have at home. We use powdered sugar, vanilla, and peanut butter. Chances are you have all of these things in your kitchen. So let's get started making our human puppy chow this morning. We know the very first thing we always do is wash our hands. And we know we've been learning that you wash them for 20 seconds and you can sing the happy birthday song, or you can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to help you know that you've washed them long enough. Well, I've already washed my hands this morning, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my apron. I have learned that in my kitchen I need to wear an apron because I tend to get food on my clothes. I guess I might be a messy cook. And today, using powdered sugar, chances are I will get food on my clothes. Well, one of the things I always do in my kitchen is I make my dishwater to start with. That way, as I'm working, I can throw in my utensils and throw in what I've worked with. It can be soaking and it makes for easy cleanup. And the thing is, when you work in the kitchen, you have to do the fun part and maybe the not so fun part, which is the cleanup. Well, I'm going to welcome you this morning to my kitchen. This is Susu's kitchen. This is where we cook our meals. I cook for Mr. Sidney and I cook for Ryan. And once in a while, but not very often, they might prepare something for themselves. All right, as we get started this morning, very first thing we're going to do is you need probably the biggest bowl that you can find. And I have already measured out my 6 cups of cereal. A reminder, when you measure, this is a coffee cup, not a measuring cup. And what you want to do is always use a measuring cup or a measuring item to measure out your ingredients. That way you know you'll have exactly what the recipe calls for. So I'm going to add my cereal to my big bowl. Now, I've got a microwave safe bowl. The next thing that goes in are my morsels. I've got 1 cup of my chips, whatever kind you want to use, and 1/2 cup of peanut butter. At our house, we love crunchy peanut butter. So that's what we had, and it gives you just a little bit of extra chew in your puppy chow. The third ingredient we want to put in to go in the microwave is our butter. And this recipe calls for 1/4 cup of butter. Well, we know we don't have to measure it in a measuring cup because on your butter, you've got all your tablespoon markings, and it will tell you that it takes 4 4 tablespoons to make a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to use my cutting board and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to cut. And that's going to give me my 1/4 cup of butter. That makes it easy. That's one less thing to have to clean up. So I get all my paper off and drop it in. And just a reminder, when you look at a recipe and you see a C, the letter C, that always stands for cup. So just a reminder to you. All right, this recipe we're going to start in the microwave. So I'm going to get Mr. Sidney, he's my cameraman this morning, to follow me over to the microwave, and we're going to put it in, and we're going to start by putting it in for 1 minute. Now, one of the things we know is we need to check it every 30 seconds to see how it's melting. We do not want it to burn. So let me grab my spoon. And we're counting it down. And in 30 seconds, we'll check it and see what it looks like. So let's take a look here. Well, when I take my spoon, and I begin to touch it, I can tell my butter is beginning to melt, my peanut butter is beginning to melt, but those chocolate chips are going to take a while longer. So let's put it back in, hit the start button. One of the things we know is butter is going to melt the fastest in the microwave. Peanut butter melts pretty fast in the microwave, but those chocolate chips tend to take the longest. But don't be fooled. Sometimes when you open your microwave and look in, your chips will still have their shape, but they're actually melted. And all you've got to do is stir everything together. So let's check it again. Okay, see, I can tell it is all melted and ready to add our vanilla and stir up. Now, another reminder to you, we use 1 teaspoon. The little T is teaspoon of vanilla, but we're going to use that measuring teaspoon, not the teaspoon that we might eat our cereal with. Always your measuring items. So let's get our teaspoon of vanilla. It's in, and I'm going to stir that up really good. Get my chocolate mixed in really well. Oh yeah, think we're getting there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is pour this over our cereal. And I'm going to get my little spatula and use it. And I know Mr. Sidney's looking at this saying, oh, don't get all of that because I want to lick that bowl. I usually have some bowl lickers in my kitchen all ready to taste, and they always want you to leave that little bit extra, but this morning I'm going to see if I can't get most of it. Up, up, up. There it comes. You know that finger's always coming, and I'm going to drop this in the water so that it can start and get ready for the wash. Let's get all the chocolate off this spoon, and I'm going to use my little spatula to mix this up. You're going to need to mix somewhat quickly because you want to be sure you keep mixing and get all of your cereal covered while your chocolate is still soft. And you see why we need a big bowl. If I had a smaller bowl, I would be probably slinging this cereal all over my kitchen. And then that would be something for my little dog to try to eat for a snack. But we want to remember, we never, ever, ever want our dogs to eat chocolate. It is an absolute no-no for a dog. So if you do have chocolate, and if it does fall to the floor, be sure you get it up and your dog doesn't get any of it. All right. What you think, Mr. Sidney? You think that's pretty much mixed up?
It's pretty good.
All righty. I took a Ziploc bag and I have put about a cup of powdered sugar or confectioner sugar in it. And I'm gonna put about half of my cereal mixture in here. And let's put just a little more powdered sugar in. Not too much. There we go. And add the rest of our cereal mixture. Sometimes I have to use my hand to help kind of guide things in. This is trying to get away from me. There's a little bit more. All right. Oh, there was one. Let me rescue it. Now, the last thing we do, and every one of you can do this, you zip that bag and make sure it is tightly closed. Let me double check that. And you want to take it and begin to shake. Shake gently. You don't want your bag to open up, because if it opens up, whew, you're going to have a real mess to clean up in your kitchen. All right, kind of work it around. Make sure that every piece gets a little powdered sugar. Makes your coating. I think it's all covered up. And the last step, open up your bag. Oops, I see a little that didn't get sugar on it. Let me close it. Do a little bit more. Get it good and coated. And I put a piece of parchment paper out, but you could also use waxed paper, because what you want to do is open it up and pour it out. I'm slipping and sliding. Up, there goes that hand again. Pour it out. Empty that bag. Spread it out. And let it cool. Let your chocolate harden. Put it in your bag. You can bag it in individual bags or in one big bag. And there you go. You've got puppy chow. Good luck with your adventures in the kitchen.